We up in this thing. Shout out to you guys. Look at this article. We're going to go over the Indy Saints wide receiver room. We're going to talk about wide receivers from the Saints. I think this is a very important side of it. I think this is a very important side of the team. We know that the New Orleans Saints made a conscious effort to rework the wide receiver room. We know since Kellen Moore's been here, he found his quarterback in Tyler Shuck. We've seen him add to the wide receiver room with two guys, trade-wise last year in Devon Vele, Jalen Polk, who couldn't really help until this year, and also adding through waiver wire claim Trey Palmer. So that was three guys that he added to the team last year. This year, in a less flashier move, he was able to pick up Moose Alford, the Canadian wide receiver, and then in the draft, picking up three wide receivers. Jordyn Tyson with the top pick, coming back later on in the middle of the draft with Bryce Lance, the fantastic speedster out of South Dakota State, and then Barian Brown later on in the draft from LSU, another speed demon. So the Saints over the last 2 years adding all of this wide receiver talent because Kellen Moore wants those certain type of players. Well, let's get into this article. Shout out to Sports Illustrated. They talk about it. Saints depth chart at wide receiver is much more interesting in 26 than in 25. And he's absolutely right. Shout out to Jim Derry with the article. There is a little, as he says, Saints entering off season targeting the wide receiver was one of the main positions that they needed to upgrade. So what did they do after working on running back? They got Travis A-Chain. They also added later on in the draft, we speak about A-Chain. They also added, Ty Chandler. Let's not forget him. He was added there too to go along with AK-41. We got an undrafted running back. The team also picked up. Undrafted running backs have an opportunity to make the team. The Saints very serious about that. David Edwards, the top guard in free agency at the left guard position. And then, of course, Jeremiah Wright, the right guard, to also improve in the fourth round to push Cesar Ruiz. Will Sherman's there as well. But then they went and drafted a wide receiver, Jordyn Tyson. They think was the best wideout available, big time speed, athleticism. Then they went in the fourth round to Bryce Lance. But they weren't done. They drafted LSU's Barian Brown in the sixth. And despite the fact he will likely begin almost solely as a return man, there are quite a few receivers on the roster from last year who are going to be able to battle to make the team this coming September. So Olave and Tyler Shuck was the starter. So you can see a lot of the great numbers right there. The targets, 9 targets a game, 6 receptions a game, and average 82.5 yards per game with 6 touchdowns. That's a dynamic duo. It's going to get better. They cut Samari Toure last week, and Elijah, I forgot the man's name. Y'all put it in the chat. Assuming Chris Olave and Devon Vele are locks, at the best 2 of the following will earn a roster spot. And who they and what do you think as of now? So Jalen Polk, forget it's only May. If one were to ask the family members, this would be the clear-cut favorite. Also, forget that Polk has only played in 15 games. Not one single game in black and gold, and has caught a measly 12 passes for 87 yards. In fact, for someone who's never played here, we constantly hear a ton from the Who Dats about Polk, who missed the entire season last year with a shoulder injury after being traded from New England. He's not overly fast. He only ran a 4.52 in the combine in 24, and his other score rankings put him in the rankings of 13 to 21. That being said, he is praised for hands and ability to make tough catches. Consider the Saints traded only a 6th round pick for him. One can't say they're married to Polk. Time will tell if he's really a favorite, but he's certainly one to watch over the next few months. Trey Palmer. One would say he might have the best chance of all the outsiders, assuming the 6th receiver would actually come from this list. Another player who's just 2 years of experience in the NFL, but clearly has the best number of the bunch and maybe the most promised. He's from Kentwood, Louisiana. Palmer's much faster than Polk. He won a state championship in the 104 and the 200 in school. So he's a track star. He also can serve as a return man. As a 6th-round pick of the Bucks back in 23, he caught 39 passes as a rookie for 385 yards and 3 scores before a big drop-off in the second season with 12 catches for 172 and 1 touchdown. However, in 24, he had 31 combined kick and punt returns. Heading in 25, the Bucks had a crowded receiver room, and in fact, at the time, it might have been top 5 in the league after being claimed off waivers by the Saints just before the start of the season. He injured a hamstring and eventually was put on the IR, so the Saints kind of stashed him. He's here. He's 100% healthy and ready to contribute. So he's another interesting option. I think it's the unknown when you're talking about Jalen Polk, but we know Trey Palmer could take the lid off. You look at Bub Means, 5th-round pick in 24, missed all last season with an ankle. Not sure where we're willing to say Means is a long shot in this group, but it's unclear what area of his game would give him a better opportunity than anyone else on the list to make the team, right? He didn't do a ton in the 9 games experience 2 seasons ago as he caught 9 passes for 118 yards and score. Means has good speed at 4.43 at the combine, but it's enough to slip. Is it enough for him to slip past others? A lot of people have forgotten about Bub Means because of the injuries, but he is a guy that was a 5th-round pick for another administration. And as you can see, he's a long shot to make the team barring injuries. Now, Mason Tipton, there's a question. He has the best chance to make the team for Brown to go into the practice squad and Tipton return as the 5th or 6th receiver to start and return man. Through 2 seasons, he played 25 games, but just 25 catches for 172 and no touchdowns on special teams, 13 kick returns, almost 31 yard per turn average. He also has brought back 4 punts. Kevin Austin, one might think the deck is stacked against the undrafted player out of Notre Dame, who was a member of the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions in 24. Through 2 seasons in New Orleans, almost solely as a backup, Austin played in 16 games, 24 catches, almost 300 yards, and a touchdown. Long shots of Ronnie Bell, 2 games and 25 for the Saints. Damon Alford signed out of the CFL in January. So this is a list of some of the players that we're talking about for the Saints wide receiver room, a complete revamping of the wide receiver room. And this big because of what it represents for the Who Dat Nation in terms of stretching the field, getting upfield, making plays, and taking the tops off and beating and doing what you got to do to win. This is the type of stuff that we've been dealing with. But like I said, and I'm going to say it again, man, I think a lot of what we've seen here between these players, when you look at the Saints, and like I said, this is our look at the team's wide receivers. There's 12 currently in the remade room. And that's the cool part about what we're looking at as a team, to have all this talent here. Chris Olave, obviously the top receiver of the bunch. Jordyn Tyson brung it in here, and you can look at the top 3 guys from left to right. Obviously, if penciled in, would be 1, 2, and 3 for your wide receiver group. Bryce, Lance, Berryon, Brown, and Jalen Polk would serve as the 6. Do the Saints keep 6 wide receivers? Potentially they could. We know that they can keep 3 tight ends. We'll see how they march it going forward. But Chris Olave, Jordyn Tyson, Devon Bailey, Bryce Lance, and Berryon Brown will be interesting to keep. But it's a lot of transition. Picking up on guys last year, and then in the draft, going in the draft and getting 3 wide receivers to the same room in the draft was just a makeover. They needed more speed, they needed size, and they got everything. They got size and speed and productivity in the wide receiver room. And this will help your quarterback stretch the field, take the top off defense. If guys get banged up, you don't compromise anything. You don't lose size or speed. Guys are still available. Now you do, if the wrong receiver is out, you do lose some experience. But outside of that, a lot of these guys can kind of mix and match, if you know what I mean. These guys can move in here and they can be very productive. They weren't underutilized players coming from college. Some of these guys were very instrumental in their college offense and did a lot of positive stuff. But yeah, it's a top hit. In my opinion, it's a top heavy room. You guys can see the top 6 wide receivers there. And then, of course, you can kind of look at the bottom 6 guys, whether you're talking about Mason Tipton or Trey Palmer or Kevin Austin Jr., Damien Alford, who's relatively unknown. It's going to compete, regardless or not, it's going to be a competitive room, no matter how you slice it and dice it. So anyway, with that being said, what do you guys think about it? You let me know, how did this line up to you? How many wide receivers do you think the Saints going to keep? Who's the odd man out? Who's your favorite wide receiver? which one is what you would consider a diamond in the rough or a dark horse to make the team? Put it in the comment section. Let me know. Very gifted wide receiver room we have this year, and the Saints did a phenomenal job over the last 2 years of making moves to build this wide receiver room up for Tyler Shuck. All right. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Much love. Appreciate you guys. Please go to FanDuel for all your prop bets and all this beautiful stuff. Also, feel free to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and join the Sports Coma Nation. We are a couple hundred people shy of our 15,000 mark. Please feel free to smash it, man. Smash that subscriber button. A lot of the people that listen to the Coma aren't subscribers, man. Check your subscribe button and hit it. Hit the notification bell as well, and I'll do the rest with all the updates and breaking down our black and gold that we love so much. So with that being said, shout out to our Patreon and YouTube membership champions. We got a new video coming out on Tuesday. And with that being said, I'm going to get out and holler at you. Much love, peace, and who that take?
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the whodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the whodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.